everybody, welcome back. Big Mess Tuxedo Fly Shop here in Waynesville, North Carolina. Go Tar Heels. Here in the vise today, I have a dry fly, Mr. Rapidan. This is a fly pattern out of, I think it's West Virginia, Harry Murray. Please don't fault me if I'm wrong on the state there. But anyway, this is a very, very, very effective fly, and you don't see it everywhere. In fact, the dubbing that was used on this fly is a fly right dubbing, and fly right's not even in business no more. However, if you go on eBay, you can find some of this poly dubbing out there, and this is a blend. And actually, it's a blend number 34. It's a Quill Gordon Brown Drake Yellow. This color works awesome here in our mountain creeks, in streams, in spring, and in the early summer. This color is Mac Daddy, jam up, jelly tight, knee deep in rubber, man. The fish love it. You can take some yellow, brown, and some other colors, and you can blend it and get close to it. However, this is the original, and I'm going to try to stay true to the original pattern as I can for you. It's got some great things I like about it. Number one, it's very visible. I like the yellow calf wings on it. It floats well because we have a moose tail as far as the body, the tail rather. The body is a poly blended dubbing, which is great. It's just a great all-around fly. You can tie it two versions. You can tie it with your split upright wings, or you can do it a parachute style. Parachute style does sit a little bit lower in the water. However, they're both excellent patterns. 12s, 14s are your most common. You can get down to 16. I do that more in a parachute style just because of the spacing, and I like those there. So let's not delay. Let's get into this particular fly. Be sure, as I'm putting the hook in here, that you hit that subscribe and that notification bell, so when a new video comes out, you will be the first to know. I'm tying this on a TMC 100 size 12. This is a dry fly hook, and I'm going to be using some Simperfly Yellow and Nano Silk today. And I am using a Norvise fly tying system, Liberty Blue, in case you want to know what color it is, with my Norvise Auto Bobbin. Dr. Slick scissors here today. I want to thank those folks for providing us with an awesome scissor. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to get a thread base started here on my hook by rotating my Norvise, and I'm going to come back to where the barb is, and I'm going to back off just a little bit here for a tie-in to where I'm going to start attaching my tail. The tail is going to be moose hair here. Moose is a thicker hair. It's very hollow. It is, and pull this off here. It's obviously a lot thicker than elk. So as you go down, if you go from deer to elk, elk is bigger. Elk to moose, you can see definitely the moose is bigger, and it's hollow. I don't think the camera can really pick that up, but when you cut these butt sections, that's actually some hollow there. So what I like to try to do is trap as much as this air inside that hair to help with floatability. But I've already got some of my hair stacker here, folks, and I'm going to open that up. I've got the tips lined up. I'm going to take my left hand, discard my hair stacker there momentarily, and I'm going to measure my tail. A lot of folks say the length of the shank of the hook. You kind of go with what works well for you. Typically on mayflies, though, they have very, very long tails. Usually there's 2 or 3 on a mayfly, mostly 3. They're going to be very long and fine, almost like a paintbrush, excuse me, fiber, but they're long. So if you go long, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Typically for aesthetics and things like that, you're going about the length of the shank of the hook. I am going to go ahead and take my scissors, and I'm going to trim those butt sections off right there at my tie-in point. I'm going to give my thread a great counterclockwise twist. As you can see, it causes that to jump backwards. Loose, and I'm going to pull up tight. And now I'm just going to kind of go loose down the fibers themselves. As you can see, with me lifting up, it's causing that thread to lay on there side by side. I want to try to keep this thread as flat as possible. And this tail here is just maybe a smidge long, but honestly, at the end of the day, it doesn't bother me to have a little bit longer tail because it helps with, number one, the buoyancy. It helps keeps it afloat. And to me, it's more natural. When you look at a mayfly, their tails are long. They're not stubby by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm going to wrap back over top of that, really securing this down and doing that. You know, so we talk about should we tie the tail first or wings first. Typically, I tie the wings first. I totally screwed the pooch here. But never fret. We're good. Okay? So typically, belay molasses, we would go ahead and tie our wings first. So we're still in good shape. So I've got, for our wing, I'm using calf tail dyed yellow. Great stuff. Highly, highly visible. Wonderful stuff, man. Wonderful stuff. Especially at evening time. Man, you can see this thing up to dusk, legal fishing light. You know, great, easy visibility. Now this time I'm actually going to pull the fibers out facing the other direction because we're going to be tying in our upright position. And this is one of those where I do kind of like to measure the length of the shank of the hook, get it close. And remember, where you tie in this wing here, for instance, you're going to have to fold it up. So use your scissors as calipers, measure that body. So there's the full body. You can break it in thirds. And I'm going to try to come a third down. I'm going to come out a little bit further, about right there. I'm going to get my thread. Got strangled. I counterclockwise twist. Capture that. I want to pull up. I want to kind of look, make sure I got space in the front, and I do. Now I'm just going to start wrapping, and I'm going to bring my scissors in. I want to come at an angle. That's going to give me the shape of my body, that contour, just like so. And we've got ourselves our taper on our body already by doing that. Now I want to take my thumb. I want to push those fibers back, just like so. Okay, this would be something you do like on a Rapidan tie with really fine deer hair. It would be this particular technique, honestly, just like that. It's almost like a fan. So I want to pull that back, and I'm going to wrap in front. And I want to take this thread, and I'm going to wrap right into, I want to bite really right into the base of those fibers, calf. And, you know, some folks are intimidated using calf tail, but let me tell you something, for a parachute post or wings, man, this stuff is great. Floats well. The natural white visibility is fantastic. However, as you can see, dyed in yellow, it's awesome too. But I'm going to build up a thread down and prop up this here. I'm going to take my half-inch tool, and I'm just going to, I'm pushing right up against that, folks. As you can see, I'm sliding that in there really good. And the next thing we have to do is I'm going to get rid of that errant fiber, and I'm going to split these wings. Just try to do 50% here, okay? Just get it close. You know, there's no one actually there counting the fibers, but just get it fairly close. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to start just splitting that 2 and 2, okay? I want to come in front, do a wrap, and then I'm just going to do a series of figure-8 wraps, and then wham. So we go around it like so. Going to come around in front, boom. Okay. Once again, boom, 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 boom. And those are divided quite nicely. And when you do that a lot, you can actually get pretty quick at that. You can also do that with feather type wings, whether it's a bronze mallard or any of your other soft feathers like that. You can do the same thing. So if you want to take it one step further, I can come in here like so, and I can start at the bottom of this wing and really start to, as we say, posting this up, and that will tighten up those wings a little bit more. However, when you do on this side, it's a little bit more difficult, but having the rotating vise really helps. You see that slid right off there. This thread is really slick. And then you can manipulate that. If you wanted to put some even more durability, you could actually put some head cement or whatever on those wraps, and this bad boy ain't going nowhere. So at this point here, we've basically pretty much got our fly, the base, the hardest part of the fly is done at this point. The wings and the tail is the most difficult part. So what we're going to do next is I want to come back here to the back, and if you notice, I got this nice taper there, beautiful, and the body is ending about right here where the point is on the barb of the hook. So I'm going to get my dubbing, which is going to be this fly right. Great stuff to tie with. I hate that they went out of whatever happened with them, but it was an older company. So you see the fibers are really long. So we're going to start tying this or attaching this to our thread. Just dub it on there. As I say, less is more. And if you get really good at this, you can actually start to build your taper on your thread as you come forward by controlling the amount of dubbing that you do. Okay, so we got that. And as I wrap this, I do like to give it some, tighten it up as we go. So you see that color is just amazing. I mean, it's got every color, every element that you want in a fly. It's very natural, but it's a great color, folks. It's a fantastic color. You can see that taper that I got going right there as well. As we get up pretty close to the wing, it's going to be where we tie in our hackle feather. Get that little piece right there. It's a little loose. Right there too. There we go. Awesome. Awesome. So the next step is we're going to do our hackle feather. I'm just going to use a brown, sized appropriately for the particular fly that you're tying. You can use a hackle gauge, or you can come in here like so and let the hook be your hackle gauge. And I'm going to strip off these barbules. I'm going to tie it in with the shiny side facing you, or which means the dull side is facing me. I wanted to manipulate my stem to where when I bring it up here, I'm going to be able to get the wraps that I want. I'm going to pull my wings back. I'm going to take that stem all the way around, not quite to the eye of the hook, but it's going to be tied in quite nicely there. Okay, just like so. I am going to come back here. I might add a little bit more dubbing, bring it up to the front. Gives us a nice area to tie that onto that's not quite as slick as well. Feel free, you don't necessarily just have to stop your dubbing at the wing. You can always kind of bring it forward if you want. Just like that. That'll be plenty. It's more than enough there. Great stuff though, man. This is awesome fly. Man, I tell you what, and these fish around here go crazy after these colors. It's a good one. It's a great fly. Just kind of come up here like so, build that up. See, beautiful. That's one of my favorites to fish. I like flies like this. Number one, they're easy to see evening time, and I like to fish a lot in the evening time. I'm not as much as an early morning guy as I am more of an evening dude, honestly. So I will max it as long as I can as far as staying out there. So the better flies I can see, the longer I can fish legally. You know, there is legal fishing light. I want to make 3 or 4 wraps in the back, and this is important. So if you, for instance, if you got your wings really far forward, you might have the majority of your wraps behind the wing. So the idea is try to get them as equal as you can. So as you see right there, this is going to be fairly equal. I might even get 1 or 2 more up front, which is fine. Like right there, that is a really good hackled fly. And we're not crowding the eye of the hook here either. That's key. So I want to capture that in there. Boom, boom, boom. Just going to get those fibers out of the way. Take my half hitch tool here. Some of those fibers will kind of run on you sometimes. But clean up that eye area just like that, just by pushing them out of the way. Now we're almost done. I'm just going to use my Dr. Slick scissors, and I like to kind of prop my small finger. Get in there like so. Capture it. There's 1 errant fiber there. I'm going to trim that. Now all we got to do is a couple of whip finishes. A little bit of head cement, and this bad boy is ready to go into your fly box. And be sure to use this fly in some of these creeks here in the Appalachian mountain chain for sure. You will be glad that you did. If you have any questions, you can reach us at info@tuckflyshop.com, 828-488-3333. If you want to support the shop, maybe buy some Tuck Shop logo apparel and things, Fly Shop USA, great selections of t-shirts and hats and stickers and things like that. We thank you folks for watching. We'll catch you in the next video.